So, welcome to our discussion today. I am so delighted that you've joined us here. I want to introduce my colleague, Leila.
Hi.
Leila's an amazing stylist here at 27 The Salon. And Leila definitely supports on all things communication within the salon. So I want to ask you all listening today, how do you rate your communication? How do you show up for your consultations? Are you hitting the mark every time? Are you losing out on those loyal clients? Or are you looking for the next level to really support what your clients' expectations are and nailing them every time? I want to invite you to join us here today for Consultations with Confidence, the 27 way. We're so excited to share this information with you and hope to really get some of these thoughts going and these wheels turning in your own mind, being really self-reflective on how you're showing up every day in your consultations with your guests. So, Leila, I want you to tell our audience a little bit about who you are as a stylist.
Yeah. So I've been at 27 The Salon for about 3.5 years now. I've been licensed since 2021. And here at 27 The Salon, of course, as I am behind the chair, I'm also with Amber in, a leadership role just to assist the rest of our team as well as our clients in that communication aspect. And I can vividly remember how I was when I first started earlier in my career, first getting behind the chair. Like most people, it's so exciting. You want to just get up all in the hair and do all the haircuts and colors, and you just get so excited. And then there's the reality just kind of hits you a little bit of that. Oh no, I don't feel like I know what I'm doing, right? And for me, I thought that feeling would go away after maybe a year or so, after developing more of my technical skill, how to find the fastest foil placement, how to create the perfect shag cut, the technical aspect of it. To my surprise, that feeling went away of that anxiousness, that dread, that nervousness behind the chair when I actually paid more attention to my consultations, when I started showing up more in the beginning of the service, setting those right expectations, showing confidence, and making sure that my client and I were on the same page as far as realistic expectations for their hair, but also for my capabilities. And that is what we hope to share with you guys today, getting that confidence behind the chair through those consultations.
Absolutely. So excited. Let's jump in. And thank you guys for joining us today on this great talk. Here we go. Consultations with confidence. Who doesn't want more confidence? Well, we really want to look at, first of all, we're talking about conversations. Consultations are language. Are you talking the talk? So, really, what is our language doing as it sets the stage? What are our clients gaining from the word choices that we're delivering to them? A lot of times we talk about it as being luxury language, not just any old language, it's luxury language. And it is everything from a simple word choice shift to increasing your vocabulary, not to confuse people, but to how are we showing up to let our words paint a picture and a story that lands and resonates with our clients. Luxury language. A client can book in for any old appointment, but they can book a visit with you as a professional. We can deliver a topic to or a need to the client to communicate with them like, hey, we can't do this in just one sitting. That kind of deflates the guest, that deflates their hopes and their expectations. But we can say, this blonding inspiration that we're looking for is going to be a journey. So I can't do it in one sitting versus it's going to be a journey. It lands different to our guests. We don't want to sit and tell our client that their hair is damaged. No, and it might be. To us, peer to peer, it may be damaged and you're concerned about it. But we want to let the guest know that their hair may be compromised. It may be fragile. Those are more empathetic delivery words that are less harsh and that are going to make a client want to fall through the floor. If they could run out the building that you just said that their hair is damaged. But if you are sharing that it could be compromised or fragile, that guest is now in the mindset of you care. We never want to just show up for a trim. No, we want to do a reshaping of a haircut. It's not just a trim. That really negates who we are as professionals. We want to reshape the hair, reform it, bring it back to life. And price, that dollar amount, right? Price versus investment. Get your client on the journey with you. It is an investment that you as an artist are going to do the work, and that investment of their time, money, and expectation. So I want you to think about the ways that that might be showing up for you, and what are you doing that you're checking the box in that luxury language, but where can we move that needle a little bit more and get some more practice with it?
All right. So let's just practice what basic luxury language sounds like, right? So this might be, your hair is damaged. Um, so what are we going to do today? Mm, these are phrases that we hear so commonly behind the chair, right? Because we're going through day to day and we don't realize the gravity of these words that they hold. Even though they're said day to day, these don't really exude luxury language. So how do we come up with ways that we can start to exude that to our client? So Amber gave us a couple of examples, but we're also going to dig a little bit deeper, right? First, we need to understand the weight that words hold. Some words hold a lot of emotion and they can honestly trigger the client, right? We talked about the word damage. How does that make a client feel? How would it make you feel, right? Maybe the client is balding or we have a thinning issue. That's a very heavy topic for clients. We still have to address the elephant in the room because, what if our client showed us a really heavy bang picture, but they're balding right in that area? We can't say, oh, yeah, let's do it because we know it's not going to look like the inspo picture, but we can't outright tell them, well, girl, you're balding. We can't do that. So we got to find a meet in the middle, right? So ways we can do this is, well, the client showed me that inspo picture and I noticed that there is some recession going on. Well, I might let them know that their texture is a little bit finer right there. There's going to be a different outcome. Since your hair is more fine, we might be looking at more of like a sparse or wispy fringe instead. So we're still addressing the elephant in the room. We're still letting them know, hey, we might need to look at a different inspo, but we are moving away from those words that evoke all of that emotion, right? And we also have to think about how those emotional words and how that emotional mindset carries beyond the chair, right? We could be cool as a cucumber in front of our client, but what happens when we go to the color room, right? And we're venting to, our coworker, oh my gosh, this client has box eye. What am I going to do? What does the next person do? Oh my gosh, what are you going to do? Right? Understanding that not only speaking in emotion to the client and how that affects their service, but also how your thinking and emotion affects your day as a stylist. How can we move away from that? And the number one tool is rather than thinking in emotion, we're going to be thinking in fact, right? Because in fact, it is what it is, right? When we're thinking in fact. Well, if the client has box dye, we only have two options. And that's what it is. What am I stressed out over, right? We remain professional behind the chair, but also beyond the chair as well.
So, so important. So important. I love it, Layla. It's something for us all to really think about how we are showing up those languages in all spaces. Yes. So let's continue. Let's continue. I
Yeah.
think let's set the stage.
Yeah. So let's just take a look of, okay, what does an actual luxury service, what does that consultation look like? So all consultations, the best consultation is always going to feel like a genuine conversation, right? I just want to talk to you. I just want to get to know you, your personality, your lifestyle, and then your hair, your routine. I just want to know all the things. We're just going to talk for a little bit, right? So when we talk about communication behind the chair, we're never actually going to be behind the chair when we're talking to the client. I want to be in front of them. I want to be having this conversation face to face. I might be, pulling over a stool to sit down in front of them to talk. That's the best way to start a great conversation with the client. Or if I do have to stand, I'm making sure that I'm standing with openness. I'm not crossing my arms or hovering over them. No, I'm just gonna chill, leaning back, arms out, talking with my hands in. We're just gonna get to know each other, right? I don't want to start off by